Did you ever heard of a war so short that it could fit into your lunch break? Well, today we're diving into the Anglo-Zanzibar War, the shortest war in history. Our story begins on the exotic island of Zanzibar off the coast of East Africa, an island the British Empire had begun to see interest in. But why did the British care so much about this tiny speck on the map? Well, Zanzibar was a strategic gem, rich in resources like spices, and served as a vital hub for trade routes between Africa, the Middle East, and India. Zanzibar's importance wasn't just in spices, it was also about control. Whoever controlled Zanzibar controlled a significant portion of the trade in the Indian Ocean, and the British, with their ever-expanding empire, were keen to keep it under their thumb. They wanted to ensure the island remained a reliable outpost in their vast colonial network. The island was under a sultanate, where past sultans like Sultan Khalid bin Said and Sultan Hamad bin Tuwaini worked closely with the British, even signing treaties to abolish the slave trade. But the friendship between Zanzibar and the British Empire came to an abrupt end when Sultan Hamad bin Tuwaini suddenly died in August 1896. Some think he was poisoned by his nephew, Khalid bin Bargash, who saw his chance and seized the throne. The British, who had their own candidate, Hamud bin Muhammad, were not pleased. They sent a polite but firm note to Khalid: "Step down, or else." Khalid, thinking he could outsmart the British, barricaded himself in the palace and refused to give up his throne. Thus, the Anglo-Zanzibar War began at precisely 9:02 AM on August 27, 1896. The British, not ones to mess around, had brought multiple warships under the command of Admiral Harry Rawson and started shelling the palace. The Zanzibari soldiers tried fighting back with the little equipment they had, even attacking the British ships with their royal yachts. But by 9:40 AM, the palace was in ruins, and the British flag was flying high. Admiral Rawson probably didn't even have time to finish his tea. Casualties were minimal on the British side, while the Zanzibari forces suffered around 500 casualties. The British swiftly installed their chosen sultan, Hamud bin Muhammad, and life on Zanzibar went back to its regularly scheduled programming. As for Sultan Khalid, his story didn't end with his palace's destruction. Only a few minutes into the attack, he fled the castle through a back door and managed to escape to the German consulate, where he sought asylum. The British demanded his extradition, but the Germans refused. Khalid eventually made his way to German East Africa, but was captured by British forces in 1916 during World War I, and sent to exile to the same island as Napoleon. He eventually got moved to Mombasa in Kenya before dying in 1927. And there you have it, folks, the tale of the Anglo-Zanzibar War, a conflict so short it barely had time to make the history books. It's a perfect reminder that not all historical battles are epic, drawn-out sagas. Some are just brief misunderstandings with the side of cannon fire. Thank you for watching.